Hey there, friends. So if you follow me any on social media, you've probably seen this painting or heard me talk about this painting or post about this painting. So this was one I did a couple of months ago of just some peaches in a paper sack inspired by Monroe's Peach Ranch, which is in Headley, Texas, about an hour and a half from where I live. And we have stopped along the road on our way to Dallas many times at Monroe's Peach Ranch. And I've always loved bringing home a paper sack filled with peaches. So I decided to paint a paper sack full of peaches. Later on, I put their logo on a print of this and sent it to them. And you can actually buy them in their fruit stand if you want a print with Monroe's Peach Ranch on there. But today I thought I would paint just a single peach instead of the whole thing. So in my sketchbook here, I have just random things in here. This is just a page of fruit. So I thought this is where I should add my peach, is on my page of fruit in my sketchbook. So I'm going to start by sketching it out. I like to use a 4H pencil when I sketch for watercolor because the pencil lines are really, really light and really, really thin. So it's easy for me to cover over with watercolor or erase later if I don't want it on there. So I'm going to start with just a basic shape of a peach, which of course is just pretty much just a round ball. Doing a little gesture drawing to make sure I get it exactly the shape that I want it to be. And then it has this wonderful little indentation here. Where do I want to put that stem? I might move it back a little bit here. Put my stem maybe coming out right here. Of course, I'll probably add one of those long, narrow leaves that you see on a peach tree. Now, I'm going to erase this part right here where the leaf is overlapping the peach. And that's really all the sketching I'm going to do for this. I'm not going to add much detail work at all. So I'm going to decide where my light source is going to be, and I usually come up here to the top left and have it shine down this way, so that's where I'm going to have it. I'm going to start by painting around a little reflection, tiny little reflection, maybe two of them that I have on my peach. I'm just covering it with water now. Watercolor goes where the water is. So I'm just going to paint it with water, but try not to get water on those two little spots. I'm trying to keep dry for the reflection. I'm going to go over the stem because that doesn't matter. I can put a darker brown over that later. But I am going to save the white on the leaf and on the reflection. So I've just got it painted with water there. And I'm going to start with a yellow, and I'm just going to start dropping it in, moving it around a little and just kind of letting it do its own thing. That's the beauty of watercolor, is if you let it do its own thing, it's going to have some beautiful effects on there that you couldn't do if you tried. You have to just kind of let it do its own little thing there. So I've covered it in yellow. There's quite a reflection on that because of all the water I used. Let me see if I can adjust it any. Here's a little better of a view. There's still a reflection at the bottom, but we'll just deal with that. And now I'm going to pick up some orange, and I'm going to start dropping it down here. And it's just going to run run everywhere the water takes it. You can see it's saving those whites. It's not jumping over those. Now, since peaches are really mingly, they're not just one solid flat color, I'm gonna let that just blend and kind of do its own thing there. And now I think I'm gonna be really brave here. I'm gonna add some opera pink, which is just like it's a bright fluorescent almost pink, and I'm gonna add a little bit in there to make that orange a little bit more vibrant. Add some yellow on top of that again. Just kind of going back and forth and back and forth. Okay, now watercolor, like most every other type of paint, will dry a little bit lighter and a little bit less vibrant than what it looks right now. I'm going to pause the video and let this dry, and then we'll come back with our next layer and kind of see where we might need to brighten things up a bit. Okay, this is dry now, so I'm going to come back over it with some yellow. Just brighten up the yellows a little bit. Had a little bit of cauliflowering happen. That's when the paint kind of muddles and spreads. If you don't like that look, you can glaze over it with some water and kind of scrub those edges out. Georgia O'Keeffe loved the cauliflower look in her paintings, and when that happened, she just let it go. So it's really up to you if you want to smooth that out or let it go. I'm smoothing out a little bit, but I'm going to leave a little bit of it also. Okay, now I'm going to use my paper towel to kind of lift a little bit of that color out. Just a tiny bit, kind of help it dry a little bit. Now these whites that I have on here are really bright to me. They kind of bother me a little bit. So I'm just dipping my brush into this water, this yellow water that I've made with my paint. And I'm just gonna brush over it with some of that water just to kind of push this back a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna work on the stem and the leaf. The stem, I'm gonna make a brown, I think. And I'm leaving some white on there and kind of making little jagged brush strokes. And make it dark on the end where it's been cut from the tree. And that way you can see a little bit of highlight on there. Okay, now that stem is coming right here in this little crevice that we created earlier. So I'm going to darken that with some orange. Just like so. Just put a line there. And now I just have a wet brush, no paint on it. I'm just going to go along and kind of blend that out a little bit. There we go. Added a little bit more paint so it would kind of spread out a little bit. It's a little dark, so I'm going to grab a paper towel and just dab along here. Push it back a little bit. Just like that. Okay, I've been ignoring this leaf, so I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to do a really simple leaf shape on here. I'm not going to get too technical on this one. Going in with kind of a darker green first. Rinse out my brush and get this lighter green up here. And now I'm going to add just a little touch of yellow in there. Let it go around. Now, if I wanted to, I could add some shading on there and add a shadow at the bottom like I did on these. But for my sketchbook, I think I'm going to keep it pretty simple, and I'm just going to leave it just like that. Now, this was just a really, really quick run through of a peach painting. But if you want more details and you want to learn how to paint peaches in a paper sack, I have a class over on my website, and I'll put the link down below. It is at melissahaneyart.com, and the name of the class is Some Sun Warmed Peaches. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.